welcome to ENDGAME. That's all I got.
Yay!
He wants to go on a field trip.
Yes, today we're going to go on an adventure. But first, like, I never check in with you guys at all. Like, I always skip over it. I'm Nomano. We're going to talk about the fucking end of the world, or maybe the start of the world, or whatever is going to happen. We don't. The collapse, the transcendence. We don't know yet. And I'm here with Popo and Psych. How are you guys doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm also ready to talk about the fucking end of the world. How does art fit into that? That's a fun combination.
How else can you have this conversation? I mean, like, when you how can you come to terms with the end of everything? Humanity, your soul. Like, you need art. You need something to help you interpret that. It's too intense. You can't deal with it. All
right, that makes sense. Psych, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm excited. We're going to go to a bunch of worlds, guys, together and, circle up and hear what you guys have to say and about, like, your impressions and stuff. And that's exciting. I think it's going to be interesting. And I always think about, like, I think if there was some kind of deterioration of our climate, theoretically, or something like that, that VR would serve these worlds that are being created in the exploration of creativity is going to play an important role, possibly in our future, but just for entertainment to start.
So if our planet dies, we're going to be able to rely on VR to give us a good environment. Is that it?
So there might be dangers afoot, right? We're exploring some pretty intense places. We don't know what's going to happen. We're dealing with elements outside of our control. So we're going to suggest, I think, the buddy system. So whoever you're sitting next to, just introduce yourself. Make sure
you have a buddy.
Yeah. Fuck. Who is Psych's buddy?
Oh wait, are we having a threesome?
You see what happened? Psych didn't have a buddy, and now he's gone already.
Oh, no!
Hopefully he'll catch up with us.
All right.
Whenever we get to a new world, we're going to give you guys 10, 20 seconds to just run around, take a breath, sort of absorb it a tiny bit, and then we're going to create a circle and talk about our impressions. I think the signal to get people to gather into a circle is going to be sort of some kind of a chant. Like, what kind of a sound should we make to draw people in? What, just a gentle, oh. And when you hear that sound, you know it's time to gather up and join the group.
Yes.
The first thing we're going to do is check in with Zarniwoop, because he's the community spotlight. And you're going to send us to a special world.
You're really putting on the spot here. Guess I'll have to do it.
Let's drop a portal. All right, get out of your chairs. We're not sticking to the classroom today.
Class is over. Okay.
We're going to leave Psych behind, but he doesn't have a buddy. So.
All right, here we go.
It's gonna be all right.
Wow, I love it when my shaders don't work properly.
That's why I got backup shaders.
I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it back.
Oh, did I?
Oh. All right.
Perfect.
It works.
Did it great.
Up to the sacrifice. You need to make a human sacrifice.
So Zarni, we're curious about the end of the world, how things are going to go. What's your feeling? How much hope do you have? What do you think's going to happen?
I think everything's going to turn out just fine.
All right, fuck it. Then we're done. There's nothing else to talk about.
Nice. Why is it going to be all right?
Well, I think that things have been worse than it currently is right now, I think. I'm not really up to date on news and everything, so this is just me perceiving the outside world from my little cave. Humanity has been through a lot, 2 world wars, and so I think at some point we'll just find a way to solve our current crises, because we made it out fine through hardship in the past.
In 100 years, do countries still exist? Are we all in an internet cloud?
Climate are definitely going to be much worse than it is right now, because I don't think people are taking climate change as serious as they should be, and some people are even flat out denying that it even exists and is a problem. So I think it's going to get worse to a point that it's too late to reverse.
But I assume you think it's fixable then, because you're imagining we're all going to stay here.
It's going to be
fixable to some degree, but it's not going to be, all flower and sunshine.
How do you think people will live? Do you think
They will
they'll
live. I think
will they be living
VR
in
is going to
houses?
change a lot of things.
Paint us a picture of like when someone wakes up 100 years from now. What does that look like when they wake up? What are they doing in the day? How's that kind of...
You wake up and you bow down to the Google drones that are flying past your window and say good.
Excellent.
Privacy is going to be, not something that people take for granted anymore. Only those who, go out of their way to, have some sort of privacy are going to, have some level of privacy still left. While most people are just not going to care, like they just, download the latest Facebook upgrade on their future tech phone, and they just accept to a bunch of terms and services that basically allows Facebook or whatever thing in the past to spy on them, and they don't give a shit.
It's interesting because we've had a couple people say different things, and there's obviously a lot to consider when we're talking about sort of looking into the future. And what's kind of nice is instead of getting to all those details, you sort of can just pick out a world. You picked this world to sort of give us an impression of what you thought.
When you guys asked me to pick out a world, I chose this world because this was one of the first worlds I checked out in VRchat, and I immediately got like a strong sense of nostalgia, like when I started out playing World of Warcraft. Like this is Elven Forest, and I immediately got that excitement with something completely new and enormous to explore. Yeah, it reminded me of World of Warcraft, so I just thought, man, the future MMOs, like in 10, 15, 20 years, are going to be amazing.
So 100 years from now, I'll see you in here.
I hope not literally in here. I want to see you in
upgraded.
New places.
These flowers will be...
Yeah, they'll be.
Smell the flowers. This won't do.
I smell that on your...
All right. Well, thank you, Zarni. Let's move on to a very different vision. I'm going to drop a portal over here. All right. Here we go. Don't forget your buddy. Make sure everyone comes through.
I don't have a buddy.
Oh no.
Mine's already gone through.
Wait,
who does that?
Well, these are binaural beats, and they're reprogramming your brain right now to do weird stuff.
Don't worry about it.
Wow. It's pretty cool. What do you guys think of the room?
It's all right.
It's cool.
So, when Namano and I first visited here, we got in an argument about, not an argument, we got in a discussion about whether this giant orb symbolizes the spirit of the earth or whether it symbolizes the sun. What do you guys think?
Symbolizes ones and zeros forming light patterns.
That's not a symbolism, that's a literal interpretation of the input. That's a little different from what symbolism.
I've changed my mind. It's the soul of the internet now, right?
I would say, if anything, the sound
whatever it is.
Well, I guess definitely the sound for me.
This guy said it symbolizes ones and zeros. Motnode says it symbolizes looking cool. That was just...
It symbolizes fertility. This is a giant fertile egg. That's what that is.
Okay, so that one I buy. That one I don't think, I can actually buy into that.
To me, it kind of seems like something that's currently contained only by its own nature, but it could soon expand into something else.
Do you feel nervous, like it's going to be too powerful, or like it's balanced and stable in some way?
It doesn't seem... it seems balanced now, but it could lose that later, but that doesn't worry me, but that kind of thing doesn't generally worry me. Because, to kind of repeat something Zanu Whoop said earlier, it'll be alright.
I'm getting this sort of vibe like this is, the aftermath of a battlefield. And I don't know, this was like someone dropped a huge bomb or something, and this is what's left of the bomb. Like, let's say some space radioactivity has clumped together and it's forming something. Everything else is, completely wiped out. Everything's lifeless except for the space bomb that's growing into something new.
The first, I don't know why, but the first thing that came to mind when I saw this was made me feel like maybe this is like a representation of like all of our current knowledge we have, like as life, and sort of like there's so much more, but when we're constantly trying to do experiments and stuff, and it's growing, and parts of it are bulging out, trying to get more knowledge, trying to learn more.
Yeah, that reminds me of the fact that you can never that theory about computers never being able to understand themselves, and so it's like this thing can't ever understand itself. It's like always on the verge, but it's never able to quite like get beyond that bound or something.
Mimi wanted to point out that everything else in this world is flat or has sharp edges, and this is the only thing that is circular and spherical.
Yeah, I'm buying into what they're saying because like it has this pulsating quality, right? Like it's alive, it's moving and changing, but there's like stability somehow. There's like this net of like
it's bound.
It's all balancing out.
As far as all I can think, I'm just getting some kind of organic, maybe living and or breathing. As far as
Are you breathing in the smoke, Gallium?
Well, everything's starting to take on a different shade of a color I can't describe, so I'd say, yeah, I am breathing in the smoke.
I like how a lot of these different ideas are they're compatible with each other. It can be the soul of the internet, and it could also be the culmination of all of our knowledge, and it can also be like this living thing. Like those all work pretty well together.
I feel like the same, like with everyone, like that this is some kind of like growing, not growing kind of thing, that's happening where I can't decide if it's stable or not stable. But I also feel like there's some kind of weird like pilgrimage of like little things that are like coming towards it, because like these little spiky things are like, I don't know, something with those.
Oh, so the spikes are like gathering towards this thing.
Towards
they're
it,
moving. Okay, all right.
Like being drawn to it.
Oh yeah, no. A little more lighting.
Yeah.
I feel like they're used to be.
This is how it's supposed to be like,
No,
but this is
that's not
definitely
how it
cool.
was.
Anybody's got a flashlight who can help light this place. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, hey.
Thank you.
Really cool. Technology exists.
And you can just get like infinitely close.
Where am I?
Yeah.
Here, let's
most images
let's
are switched to
to make sure there's no stragglers. Ooh, there's one person over there.
Going hence, everybody.
Is that supposed to be baby Jesus? Is that baby Jesus?
I
Be like a Buddhist.
I don't think so.
Well,
It
that's
looks
not what I
Buddhist to
got.
me.
I guess it's supposed to be like a Buddhist thing or something. Looks familiar.
Look, I'm under the impression at some point maybe AI is going to take off. Maybe something's going to happen. Maybe the whole world connects. If that does happen, there's a super entity. There's whatever the thing is, whatever the AI super intelligence that takes over the world or whatever it will exist, whatever that is in the future, you can, in a way, pray to it today if our information is saved on the internet, right? So, like, this is a place you come
Oh my god!
and you pray to the being that is like, right? And
it's amazing.
And in theory,
it's amazing.
This super entity is hearing you, right? Your prayers may actually be answered.
The data will be mined.
That's an interesting take on it.
There's not much in my head, I guess, like a god and a super AI is like very
like this statue would actually be, like a huge server rack, essentially.
Well, also it's funny because a lot of people pray to
like
God. The whole idea of praying to God in case there's an afterlife kind of thing. You're basically praying to the AI in case there's a takeover and they look back and say, "Well, who
absolutely."
I'm
with you.
I like that.
Now I'm following. I was like,
I'm devoted to you, and anything you can do to square me away for like the singularity.
Hey, I'm on board.
When you sort of saying sort of praying to it just in case it takes over, have you ever heard? Has anyone heard of? I think it's Roko's basilisk. The idea is it's some kind of sort of super AI that, for some reason, decides to punish anyone who doesn't actively assist it in coming into being.
Are you not taking that into consideration? Like, are you not doing everything you can to help whatever that entity is?
I think part of the problem. I think one of the problems that was
beginning of something.
that's kind of brought up in discussions about it is that you don't. There's no way to know if what you're doing is either helping it to come into existence or hindering it. You can't know because unless you're, like a really actually clairvoyant, you can't tell.
But if this thing is really as super intelligent as we're assuming it's going to be, it's going to understand that humans are stupid and like it's going to understand that we make mistakes. And if I try to help and I fucking tumble and fall and I fuck things up, I think it's going to forgive me, right? We're very much. I feel like I'm talking about a god. Like it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm projecting a lot onto this super entity. Anyone else have an alternate theory?
So the fact that this is a child is interesting to me. The fact that it's so like big and intimidating kind of reminds me of like how we kind of feel about our children in general, right? Because our children are going to build the future. Like we've got our short time, and then the rest of it is up to them. And so it could be kind of a tribute to that, saying that we're going to place our faith and our trust in the children and hope for the best.
That makes a lot more sense.
I get more like a cold and lonely vibe from this.
Yeah, I get like a sad, like kids can't be kids anymore kind of vibe. Like they're in here. And,
yeah, okay.
Like kind of isolated. Like I just remember being kids and being like able to go in the street, and now thinking about my nieces like going out like terrifies the fuck out of me. Like, you know what I mean? So
I think men are going to become gods. Eventually.
And you get that from this?
I got it more from the brief like back and forths I heard in the audience about like religion and stuff.
If people from 200 years ago saw us now, they probably assume we had the powers of gods and stuff. Some of the stuff we can conjure up and work.
In VR, you can make anything into a god and create these beautiful temples. So in the future, people might come here to worship.
Anyone else before we move on? You didn't lose your Morty, did you?
Huh? No, I have my Morty.
Could be a god, and it is like a computer god, and humanity, we're basically the bootloader. Once we're done, we're done. That could be it.
Wait, what's a bootloader? What's that mean?
So it loads the operating system, and then it's done. So like that's all it does.
No, I mean, look, that's probably true, but it better take me with it. I don't want to just be left behind.
I know.
The AI god has heard you. It knows you. It's leaving you behind. It's uncomfortable around it.
No, I didn't want to derail it.
Is this bubblegum?
This is definitely inside of somebody's colon.
I found a cyst.
Or a rectum or something like that.
Awesome. I just heard a good interpretation for this room. Where did that come from?
To me?
Yeah.
We're inside of the baby's lungs.
Yeah, this is where we're at.
Because the baby's so huge, right? So the lungs would probably be this big. So.
It's fleshy in here. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. So this one definitely evokes organic shapes. We've got sound of the breathing. We've got like weird pustules going on
this
here.
This doesn't look very organic to me.
Well, the pink color looks like bubblegum. I think Ewan said it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it looked like bubblegum. I'm glad the room's not undulating. That would be really creepy. Like,
don't you want to be creeped out sometimes? I mean, we're in VR. We're in a totally safe space. Why not get a little creeped out once in a while?
Then again, yeah, I guess so.
I guess I start thinking about my own organs, and it's disturbing to me. Like I feel like I'm going to find something in here, or like, I mean, I don't know. I don't like
cyst-like balls you can throw around in there.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, we could do that inside of you.
It's like something it's going to pop us.
What about Nemono's balls?
Yeah, I want to pop them. I want to find
They're all over.
Those bubblegums that you swallowed instead of spitting out.
Oh, yeah.
We are in the precipice between a boot and the sidewalk.
We're inside my lungs, Morty. It looks like bubblegum, but don't worry about that.
Oh, jeez, Rick. I don't think we really should be in here.
Don't worry, Morty.
in sort of a like this is a hostile place that tries to disguise itself as being friendly, inviting, like setting up a
I know
trap.
where we are. We're inside of the Santa. The Santa man that's floating over
Oh
Earth.
yeah,
my God.
what was the
Oh, yeah.
what's it
Santa
called?
man is about to explode.
Yeah, but the
Well, if we're
Inside of
there,
the
I want to
Santa.
at least ride the Pirates of the Pancreas before we go out.
How does it make you feel to sort of change scales so dramatically, right? Like the first world we went to was really abstract. Well, no, there was the autumn world where it's like kind of normal scale. I'm used to, it's not realistic, but I feel like I'm a normal size. Then an abstract world. Then the temple, which I feel very small. And now I feel, what do I feel here, man? This is like,
trapped.
It's so different from real human perception. Like you've never been anywhere like this before.
Right, exactly. And so some of the feelings of being here are kind of unfamiliar.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm loving this, Mimi. That's really cool.
My face was mesmerized by your hair, and then you looked at me.
We need a temple where we can just go to worship like a giant Mimi.
Hey, I'm in favor of this idea. Definitely.
Well, I already have her book, so we're good.
There we go.
Yeah, we're clear.
Okay, put her
All right, I got it. Let's go.
I need an adult.
Oh boy.
Oh God. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, my frame rate. My frame rate.
Maybe we can't stay here very long.
Abort.
Oh, my poor 1080 is dying.
Yeah, mine's good.
Oh no.
Mine's totally fine.
My head.
I feel like body in here.
Mom, I'm on TV.
I
Oh
wait
my God.
everybody hates.
I can see myself.
Hello there,
Oh,
TCO.
shit.
Sorry.
Freedom.
Sorry, I'm late.
Get out of here before you get sick.
Where is the
Hey,
portal?
snacks.
over here.
You can run up the walls.
Whoa.
Here
But first, let's gather up here before we get too crazy.
Yeah, no one run through the walls or something. Like,
Apparently anything goes, so...
If you're feeling okay and you haven't been here before, really quickly, just try and run into the wall and maybe do a full loop, because this room sort of loops back on itself a little bit.
Go get some grass.
Hey, if you join our friends, yeah.
yeah, I can.
Literally just grass.
Don't come together over there.
Oh yeah, well let's close it in. Let's make a nice, clean. You should be like just holding your neighbor's hand, basically.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah.
What?
All right, come on in.
Welcome back to the slightly more stable world.
Sure, hold my virtual hand. I know it's impossible, but
So I wanted to talk a little bit about those last two worlds, even though we sort of powered through them. And Ghoster is here, and Ghoster designed both of those two. So, like, what I found interesting about those is the first set we explored was, like, very abstract. And, like, when I visit those worlds, it gets my mind going, and I'm thinking about whatever weird ideas are in my head get sort of projected out. But then there's, like, the toys that are sort of just more fun. Like, that Infinity Room is, like, a fun house. And then the Inception Cube, what I wanted to do was just play a game where we try and catch someone, because it becomes this insane maze or this chase scene where you're just running through walls and, like, sort of, I guess, similar to Inception in a way, and like going in weird dimensional loops that are so foreign to reality, right? It gave me, I guess, I'm familiar with, if you played Portal, like when I played Portal, my mind started thinking in a different way, and it was like a very unique experience. You start thinking in portals, which doesn't exist in reality. And so it was really cool to be like exposed to this entirely new thing, like a new physics.
The last world we were in, I really appreciate that I get to exist in a world where I can look up at the roof and realize, hey, someone dropped a portal, I better get over there.
So with that type of world, I thought it was kind of remarkable to kind of notice how, like, there's worlds that are kind of pieces of art, and then there are worlds that kind of invite the users to do some sort of creation, like to play in certain ways. Like the Infinity Mirror Room, like, invites people to kind of play with reflection and distance and everything. You know, just like observing it. You have to actively participate in it in order to get the value out of that room. Same with the Inception cube. You've got to travel through it and either make a game of it or just kind of explore it, and through that it's just a more interactive type of art that doesn't really, like, on its own it's less I guess it's just less active, and so it requires participation in order to become what it is.
How do you guys feel about this kind of a room where, like, it's a little bit less abstract? Like, this could be a real field you went to in life that was just it's dark and there's wind blowing and
Definitely calming.
Yeah, it is.
it is
It is
a little bit relaxing.
I think this world is very anime.
Anime? Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm the protagonist standing on the hill, looking at the moon, having some cool inner monologue or whatever.
Right. Oh, Rad's falling asleep. Yeah, that's.
So this is one of the places that people come to sleep in VR. Has anyone here actually slept in one of these rooms before? Have you
Seven
slept
times.
here?
Yeah, slept here with Rad. Ewan was there. I'm not sure if he slept with us,
Was that
but
me? Not bad.
I believe the Lagoose was there as well.
Are your dreams different?
I didn't dream anything.
I don't recall
that
anything,
night,
honestly. I think Rad's the one
First
that
time.
definitely sleeps here the most.
First time I slept in VR, I had a dream about VR. I can't remember what the dream was. Oh yeah, I think it was. I can't remember which weird. I've had multiple weird dreams about VR now. A couple of days ago was a nightmare in Janus VR. I often visited Janus VR, but it was in a classroom. It was weird.
Are you sure you ever woke up?
I know because I woke up with my
Can you be sure?
like my headset
Yeah.
half up.
I've heard that if you sleep in VR and you dream about VR and you die in that dream, you die in real life.
Oh, sweet. Finally a
I
way
think you're
out.
right.
Seems legit.
Alrighty then. Everybody.
So this, again, is different than the other places we've gone to because it's just a recreation of something, right? Like, there's plenty of worlds in here that are like just taken right from video games, and so you get that nostalgia, old stuff that brought back a lot of memories. And then this is going into Twin Peaks, which is, if you're a fan of, it's kind of a unique experience to step inside. Like in the show Twin Peaks, the Black Lodge is this waiting room is sort of a portal between worlds. Like, there's a lot of dimension hopping or something going on in Twin Peaks.
Anyways, I've heard the name. That's about all I got.
It was a
It's a
popular
TV show
show in like the
made by-
90s.
Yeah, made by David Lynch in the 90s, and it kind
Absolutely
of
worth
blended like
watching.
it kind of blended like the soap opera drama style with kind of eerie supernatural elements.
Twilight Zone?
Not
It's weirdness,
exactly.
I guess.
It had a story.
Different
like over the course
Yeah,
of
there's a
the
continuing
entire-
narrative, and they took a 25-year break, and they just came back. It's very complex and vague, and sort of, I think, hard to nail down exactly what Twin Peaks is, because it's a lot of things. But for anybody, I guess, who hasn't seen the show, I wonder what kind of a feeling you get coming here, right? Because I think a big part of this place is probably nostalgia for people who are familiar with it.
Like I haven't seen the show at all, and I got like sort of this impression that like this is limbo of some sort. This is limbo of some sort.
I think you're.
Can hear ourselves from your reflex.
We're looping. We're looping. Please vote kick me. I need to be gone. We gotta.
I'm leaving now.
All right, there we go.
Wow, distracting.
In a way, that was a very Twin Peaksian event to happen, where a weird character comes from another dimension, just repeating stuff back to us, and like it's unpenetrable. You can't figure out what's going on. Wait, did that interrupt anyone? Was somebody actually talking about their interpretation coming from very outside?
I was saying like this was like this was a sort of waiting room or like a place in limbo. Yeah, limbo between trapped between worlds, and whatever being that created this room had a sense of humor.
I think that's pretty accurate, man. That
is pretty accurate.
That's the show.
Hey, Bill.
Oh,
he doesn't.
Bill here.
Bye, Bill.
That was not really him. That was an entity.
There are like entities that inhabit the Black Lodge, and they're very They're on a different plane and they're hard to follow.
Yeah,
so
they're hard to
let's.
understand.
Oh, look at that! Perfect.
Oh, I need to
again.
That's not working. Wait.
How'd you get in there?
What's on the agenda for today?
Michael Dibs.
Some text that's too blurry to read because resolution limits.
Let's all the stragglers in here.
What's better, waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Donuts. Definitely donuts.
Waffles, objectively, they have a container for the syrup, so they can hold more syrup.
Yes. Bingo.
No, but
You prefer too much
pancakes.
structure. Don't you want things to be a little bit loosey-goosey and let them like flow with
waffles
whatever
don't
happens?
taste as
I'm
great
learning,
when they
Lamana.
become soggy.
So just write pancakes more aerodynamic.
Instant debate.
So they've got that going for them as well.
Yep, that's important.
So this is the typical kind of debate that happens inside the police station. And so like this is how is this different than the last ones we've gone to, right? Like I feel like it's another sort of realistic location and it basically invites I mean like the first thing I thought of is filming something in here, right? Like a couple of the guys
role playing. Yeah.
role playing. Some people were talking about doing machinima.
Oh
no.
Where do you go?
There he goes.
I'll continue what I said. I would say machinima and role playing are sort of the same thing. It's just machinima is recording it and having more of a structure to it.
Is it still machinima if you're actually using real motions to do the acting? Like just because it's in a game? Is it not just acting?
No, it's still machinima because you're
normal filmmaking.
Well, and one thing is if you're in VRchat and you make your own level to do your own scenes, you're not really using game assets. You're just using a game engine, which I don't think really counts. Because there are movies made in Hollywood that have more CG than they do live footage, and
making
they
games
just use motion
in a game,
capture.
making movies in a game engine is more or less machinima. I think the definition.
This is a good technical conversation, but it's honestly irrelevant because we're not talking about the definitions of words. We're talking about what we're doing here. And so, if what we're doing here is creating some sort of narrative, it doesn't matter whether we call it machinima or not. So
that's all that happened while I was lost in the fucking galaxy. You guys just complained about the cement, like the word. Great.
Yeah, basically.
We can't be left
doing my
alone.
best.
We're lost without you.
Yeah. So, what do you want to make in here? What springs to mind for you?
I don't know, but I kind of want to end by taking 5 minutes and just fucking role playing something, maybe filming something. Like it would be cool. We have so many people here. We can basically populate a bunch of those.
We need to investigate. Mono is disappearing.
Okay.
Yes, that's
Everyone should switch to the TCL avatar,
Who's killing him?
and we should have a lineup identifying
Actually-
the real TCL.
Yes, you.
Okay, I'm gonna get in VR. I'm gonna get in VR.
Yes, there we go. Lamana was kidnapped. We need to find the perpetrator. Let's see.
Yes,
Let's
I like
put
it.
him- Let's put
I
him
didn't do
in
it this
here
time.
against like this light.
Perfect.
Will that work? Like against the whiteboard.
And we should do a walk and talk. So basically, that means you guys should like walk down the hall together, and Ghoster and Human are going to try and keep the camera ahead of you, having an
that's
extremely
gonna be
short
difficult.
conversation as you're entering the room. Right?
I can only run. I need
Well,
walking.
Maybe you could take steps like this. We could, like,
Oh yeah, that's smooth looking.
that's very good. We're doing it in one take, no preparation, no
Yeah,
retakes. It's going to be simple.
Typical Mel.
One take wonder.
Squad.
Okay, what the fuck did I say?
So did you catch the game last night?
No. You know I don't have a TV.
Oh
Trying
man, you
to
should
rub
have
it in my
seen it,
face.
man.
Yeah. What about it? What happened?
Oh, dude, just at the last half of the thing, the freaking stadium collapsed. Oh, it was a nightmare. We'll be seeing that case file for
What? The whole
weeks.
stadium collapsed?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
literally?
already on our desk. We're gonna be seeing that for weeks, investigating that.
That's.
What do we got here?
Well, these are these guys.
This
The
must be
TCL.
the must be the
TCLs.
Nomono kidnap case.
Yeah.
I wish HR would tell us
got
about
the
this
file?
crap. We're understaffed. No, they have not got me a file yet, man.
Really quick on the
Hold
computer.
up, intern.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll get out of your way.
So, you. What's Nomono to you?
I don't know. I think we got a problem,
I don't
man.
even know how
I
I
think we
got here. We got a problem. Who is Nomono to you? Answer me, boy.
I think that's enough, Glenn.
I think he's making some stuff up, dude.
Glenn. Yep. That's enough. You, number 2. Who's Namono? When did you last see him?
I didn't see him. I just have heard talk about him.
We'll get back to number 2 later. Number 3. What's your name?
TCL. I'm not entirely sure who Nomono is.
I haven't even asked your question yet. But you already seem very keen on asking that you don't know who Nomono is. It's suspicious, if you ask me.
Eric. You, with the pretty nails. Who's Namono to you? Oh, silent treatment, I see.
Intern, come and take number 4 to a holding cell.
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who with me? Come on.
Yeah, the one with the beard, can you see? You, number 5.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Come on.
I don't know. You guys brought me here.
I think I know this one. Real shady type, hopping around doing squats out in the middle of the night. Another type.
Yeah, so what? What's it to you?
It's a squatter.
You know damn well what it is to me.
Those.
Look, I never heard of no Nomano. You're wasting
We
your
never
time.
even mentioned Namano. This is getting a little...
You mentioned
number
it
3 and
4
number
times
5.
We're
before.
talking squats and
Come on.
dares,
Yeah.
son. Take number 5 to interrogation.
You do nothing.
Intern, where'd number 1
That's
go?
right. Go on.
And any reason someone left a plushie on the desk? It's been sitting there for like a week now, man. It's weirding me out. Oh god, it's moving.
Shoot it! Shoot it! Take it down! Take it down!
Get that son of a bitch! Back here.
It's right over there! Eat lead!
Back here!
Reloading!
Back here!
Get it!
It's going northbound, northbound! Oh, northbound, it's in the office.
On pursuit!
Can anyone think of a conclusion to this?
Death is a good conclusion.
Oh, I don't want to see it.
All right, so just like 5 more takes of that, and I think we'll be good.
You guys did great. Oh man.
Oh my God, you've been here the whole time? I have my tags off. I just assumed you vanished.
I mean, I think it was Pill who uploaded this world, and I'm sure he didn't have this in mind when he uploaded this.
Sure.
He basically gave us the tool to do whatever we want in this world, and as of right now, it's only technical, hindrance that stops us from, be adding more detail to the scene.
Brought the canvas. We brought the paint.
Oh shit.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's this canvas that you can actually inhabit. Like, it's the most interactive form of art that there's. Well, that's probably not true, but it's like the most interactive and global form, right? Like, we're hanging out in this weird place. We're all scattered across the world, right? Coming together. If someone had some kind of brilliant idea, we could work on a project together. And it's like a very unique, very modern, new tool that we have here. It's kind of cool.
I like to think of VR, or specifically social VR, as the internet point two, because what we're doing right now, we could do on the internet, find other people with similar interests and coordinate and do something together.
Yeah, but it would
right here we can actually go up to people and we can see someone instead of having to search through text and find someone on a forum. We can just happen to meet someone,
interact with our world,
and interact with them. And that's what I mean by internet point two. We've upgraded.
Oh, I thought that
instead of this being a forum, a message board, this is just a virtual space.
Mm-hmm.
That you can repurpose to anything. Like you can repurpose a forum thread to anything. Could be a art gallery, or just discussion, or just talking smack with your friends. Then there's the Google drones that record everything.
Of course, yes.
God, did they take over while we were inside? Like, am I going to take off my helmet and it's right outside my window?
I welcome our Google overlords.
I mean, I guess I'm down with that. If Google turns out to be the super entity, fingers are crossed it goes in a different direction. But
probably gonna be.
Thanks for coming, and thank you for participating in this art.
Wait, we gotta do this thing. Put your hand in the middle.
Thanks for continuing to host it all.
And then, what do people say?
Oh boy.
Go team!
I've seen that man before. He stands with the sky, and the sunset falls at his knees. I've seen